Good evening, and welcome to the Thursday, October 3rd, regular meeting of the Novi Community School District Board of Education. Thank you all for being here this evening. We appreciate seeing familiar and fun faces in our audience tonight. I would appreciate a roll call, Mr. Mena, if you wouldn't mind.
Trustee Cook. Here. Trustee Hood's absent excused. Trustee Mena here. Trustee Murphy.
Here.
Trustee Roney.
Here.
Trustee Ruskin.
Here.
Trustee Smith is absent excused.
All right. And, if you wouldn't mind joining me for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The first item on our agenda is the approval of the agenda this evening. I would entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve the agenda as presented.
Thank you, Mr. Cook. Is there
Support.
support? It's been moved by Mr. Cook and supported by Mrs. Roney. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Which brings us to our student board member report. We have a student here. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell us where you're from and your grade, and then tell us about what's going on?
Yes, good evening everyone. My name is Lucy Kakudian and I am here on behalf of the Novi High School Student Council, and I will be providing a student highlight for the high school this evening. In academic news, Novi High School proudly announces that 27 students have been named National Merit Scholarship Program semifinalists. We applaud these students for their tenacious work ethic, demonstration of leadership skills, and commitment to excellence. Congrats to all. Congratulations to the 44 students who have been recognized as a commended student by the National Merit Scholarship Corporation. And student and teacher activities. The IB exam registration starts on October 4th and closes on October 18th, 2019. Students will need to register through the Novi IB webpage just as they did last year between October 4th until October 18th. In athletic news, good luck to the following teams who will be competing this weekend. Girls swim and dive at the Oakland County Championship. Girls field hockey team versus Skyline High School. Novi football team at Canton High School. Boys and girls cross country at the Oakland County Championship. Boys tennis at the KLAA Conference Tournament. Boys soccer versus Adam High School. And Novi marching band at the Lake Orion Invitational.
Fantastic. Thank you, and we thank you for being with us and updating us on what's going on at the high school. I know there's always a lot of activity over there. Next, is a good segue right into our next item on the agenda, which is awards, recognitions, and presentations. Dr. Matthews.
Thank you, Ms. Murphy. This evening, Novi High School Principal Nicole Carter will present seniors from the class of 2020 that have been named National Merit Scholarship Program semifinalists. The National Merit Scholarship Corporation released the names of 27 Novi High School seniors who were named National Merit semifinalists, making Novi the top in the state, and it represents 7% of all in-state semifinalists. Ms. Carter will present the students who are in attendance for recognition, recognizing that it's a busy time of year, some may not be here this evening, and provide additional biographic information including their varied scholastic endeavors, their participation in athletics and fine arts, and for a large number of students, their volunteer commitments and philanthropic efforts. So we applaud these students for their tenacious work ethic and outstanding academic achievement, and present them to the Board of Education this evening for recognition as the exemplification of the very best of Novi High School. Ms. Carter.
Good evening. It's another great day to be a Novi Wildcat. I have the honor and privilege of introducing to you Novi High School's National Merit semifinalist. Keep in mind this is a significant accomplishment, and I am forever grateful to the Board of Education for taking the time to recognize this dynamic group of students. So what is the National Merit Scholarship Program? Approximately 1.5 million students in more than 21,000 high schools entered this program. Only 16,000 of these students qualify as semifinalists. We have 27 students who have qualified. These students represent less than 1% of U.S. high school seniors. These students are defined by more than simply their test scores. They have challenged themselves by actively participating in a combined 244 advanced placement courses, 35 international baccalaureate courses, 24 dual enrollment courses, 15 of our tenacious 27 started as kindergartners within the Novi Community School District, which I believe is a testament to our district in its commitment to excellence, to our teachers who inspire our students to gain a passion for learning, and to our engaged and supportive parents who provide guidance and unconditional love to our students. These 27 have actively participated in 29 clubs, they have participated in 10 athletic teams, and 24 of the 27 volunteer at local organizations. And now for the moment we've all been waiting for. When I call your name, if you could please be so kind as to join me at the podium. Sakith Adanki. Congratulations. James Chen. Scarlett Chen. Kashika Chabra. Prachita Chordia. Rohan Dimi. Shrey Dilapali. Ashley Fan. Anthra Gandhi. Srihari Ganesh. Jessica Jane. Mukund Jarajaju. Michelle Jackman. Hannah Kim. Gabe Luo. Viva Maka. Brian Nye. Bianca Palicha. Gauri Patel. Riley Rich. Claire Rafi. Madeline Simon. Catherine Song. Rahul Unamapa. Jill Vaishnav. Linda Wang. And Elizabeth Yang. At this time, you could please join me in a warm round of applause for these students. Staff and the entire student body of Novi High School, we commend each and every one of you and are really proud of your commitment to excellence. And also at this time, I would be remiss not to ask the parents, family members, and friends of these dynamic students to please stand and be recognized as well. Without you, these students would not be able to achieve at the level that they're able to do so on a regular basis. So parents, if you could please stand and be recognized as well. Thank you, Dr. Matthews.
Thank you, Ms. Carter. I don't know if the board has any
Board have
comments.
any comments? Certainly, Mr. Cobb.
I'll say something. It's, it's something that's become a norm here to have so many smart, intelligent, hardworking students, and we really appreciate you coming in front of us and the hard work you've done. To put this a little bit in perspective, I just heard this week that my hometown is celebrating their first ever national semifinalists. So, and we get to put out 20 some a year. It's amazing. So congratulations and great work.
Certainly on behalf of the board, we really want to thank you for coming here this evening and spending your evening with us. We know you're busy people, doing a lot of things, a lot of really great things. But it's always great for us to see and be reminded of why we do what we do, which is because of you guys. And seeing you work that hard, it just makes us want to work all that much harder to make sure that things in our district stay just moving forward. So thanks. We look forward to, hopefully at some point, to hearing more from you guys about what you're doing, next year, in the next couple years. We always like hearing back from our students about successes they've had. So I'm sure we'll see many of your faces again, either up here at the podium or at the school. So thanks for being here. Parents, thank you for coming. We have a quick comments from the audience, then we'll take a break so that you guys can all leave. So
You don't have to leave, you can stay.
you are welcome to stay. Yes, you are welcome to stay. But just to let you know, we do have an opportunity now for comments from the audience. So if there's anyone in the audience that would like to make a comment about something that is on our agenda this evening, there's another opportunity at the end as well for anything. But right now, if there's anything on our agenda that anyone here has come to speak to us about, if you wouldn't mind filling out a green card. I don't see anybody rushing over there, but is there anyone who would like to speak to the board this evening about anything on our agenda? Okay. Well, in that case, we will take a brief break. It is 7:12. We will come back at 7:20, and that will give you time if you guys want to take pictures together or pictures with your family or whatever you need to do, and then you can go home and get busy on that homework or whatever that next step is that you have to do. So thank you again for being here. Thank you, parents, really, for all the support that you give, not just your students, but this district as a whole. It's fantastic, and we enjoy the fruits of that, and now they are too, so thanks very much. All right, we will take a break, brief break. we go. We are back. We are ready for our next item on our agenda, which is our consent items. We just have the approval of the minutes this evening on the consent, so I would entertain a motion.
So moved.
Is there support? Support. Moved by Mr. Mennett and supported by Mrs. Roney to accept the approval of minutes. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. The next thing on our agenda are action items. Dr. Matthews, the first one is our personnel report.
Thank you, Ms. Murphy, and we will turn to Dr. Kinzer.
Thank you, Dr. Matthews. This evening, we have 2 new hires on our list. The first is Allison Siski, a social worker at ECEC. And the second is Karen Blankstrom, a special education parapro at Deerfield. We also have 1 leave of absence. This is Amanda Clarkson, a childcare leave of absence. She's an ESL teacher at Parkview.
Okay. Would entertain a motion. Mr. Cook?
Move that the Novi Community School District Board of Education adopts personnel report recommendations as presented.
Support. It's been moved by Mr. Cook and supported by Dr. Ruskin. Are there any questions or comments about this evening? Have we replaced all the social workers now? Do we have 1 left?
No, I think we're fully staffed with social workers.
Okay. And how difficult will it be to, have we found an ESL teacher to take over for her?
We're
She
working-
doesn't leave till the
We're
23rd.
working on plans now, though, for
Okay, yeah,
January.
that's an important position, especially at Parkview, right? Okay, fantastic. So I will call the question. All those in favor of accepting the personnel report as presented, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same. Motion carries 5-0. Next is our International Union of Operating Engineers contract. Dr. Matthews, I will turn to you on that.
Thank you, Ms. Murphy. A tentative agreement has been reached with the International Union of Operating Engineers, the IUOE. The administration recommends the contract agreement with the IUOE be approved. The IUOE and the district bargaining teams met on several occasions to negotiate a new collective bargaining agreement. The current bargaining agreement expired on June 30th, 2019, and the members were operating under an extension. Many issues were thoroughly discussed in a very collaborative environment during these bargaining sessions. A tentative agreement has been reached. The IUOE bargaining team was comprised of Kevin Bessanen, a business representative from IUOE, Robert Kuhlman, and Russ Nesmith from the district. The district bargaining team included Dr. Gary Kinzer, Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources, Joe Minnick, Assistant Superintendent of Business and Operations, Mike Dragoo, Director of Maintenance and Operations, and Jacob McDermott, Assistant Director of Maintenance and Operations. The board has questions on the summary that I provided this week. Dr. Kinzer or Ms. Minnick will be able to answer those, but we would recommend that you would approve this contract with the IUOE.
Okay. Since it is an action item, I would entertain a motion first for our discussion. Thank you, Mr. Cook.
I recommend that the Novi Community School District Board of Education ratify the International Union of Operating Engineers, IUOE, bargaining unit contract agreement.
Support.
Okay, that has been moved by Mr. Cook and supported by Mr. Mennett. Is there any discussion on this item? No, thank you for highlighting the changes that have been made. I certainly appreciate that, seeing
I
some
would
of
like
the
to express my appreciation to the bargaining team. Mr. McDermott and Mr. Dragoo were very helpful in giving perspective on issues that were raised by the group, and then Ms. Minnick and Dr. Kinzer were very kind of tenacious in making sure that the contract got moved forward through delays and calendar issues and all those kinds of things. So I do appreciate all the work that was done.
Okay. Yes, thank you very much, and it's nice to get at least one under our belt, right? I know we have some others that will be coming up, but our maintenance team, they've done such a fantastic job over the years that I think our facilities and fields really, in comparison to so many other places, are just so awesome, in large part because of their efforts. And their
Yeah, our team does a fantastic job, and I really would like to take the opportunity to thank members of our IUOE bargaining team. They were also diligent in their efforts, and after a lot of conversation, we landed on a really good, fair deal for both sides.
Great. All right, well, if there's nothing further, I will call the question. All those in favor of approving the international IUOE contract, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same. Motion carries 5-0. Terrific. Now, next on our agenda is our information discussion items. Dr. Matthews, I'll turn to you for the first on merit pay, merit plan.
Yep, thank you, Ms. Murphy. As you know, the state law requires that we have a merit or performance-based compensation system in part. Michigan compiled law 380-1250. And so each year we come to the board with a recommendation for our merit program. In our district, we really focus on the meritorious service of the staff in the building and the administrators in the district, as opposed to singling out individuals, because teaching is a collaborative effort, and we really believe that the staff working together helps create the culture that provides the high achievement in our district. So again, this year we have set aside $250,000 for merit pay, and you can see the details of the program. It's really focused on this idea of supporting our district goals of ensuring that we provide high-quality instructional programs for all of our students. The merit program supports this goal by encouraging staff to hone their instructional practice through the rigorous process of national board certification. And the merit program supports this goal by rewarding our staff for the academic performance of all students in their building or in the district. The merit program supports the district goal of improving instructional quality and assessment practices for all students by rewarding the staff who, one, improve instructional practice as measured by a rigorous national board certification process, and two, maintain or improve academic performance as measured by standardized assessments or academic performance outcomes that demonstrate, one, improving or maintaining high levels of student proficiency, improving or maintaining high levels of student growth, improving or maintaining high performance among English language learners, improving or maintaining high success levels in our special education population. So we have two sections for merit. The first is teachers will receive a merit award of $5,000 for completing the national board certification process. And this, they have 16 different areas in the national board certification process. And so teachers who complete that will be recognized with a $5,000 merit award. The program costs approximately $1,900 for them to complete. So this is, we'll repay that plus give them an additional $3,100. And then in our contract each year, they get $1,000 for having national board certification as well. The second section really focuses on proficiency, growth, English learner progress, and students with disability performance. And this is the same process that we've used in the past. We're using really M-STEP scores this year because we have changed a little, gone away a little from the NWA and using I-STEP, and since this was the first year of the I-STEP, we thought that we would focus on the M-STEP scores this year. So this is very similar to the program we had last year. We did have a merit committee that met several times. We met with a group of teachers as well to discuss merit. We are required as a district to have a merit or a performance-based compensation system in part. And so this, we believe, meets that requirement from the state.
Right, is there discussion? This is a discussion item. So are there things the board wants to discuss on the, this is not significantly different from what we've done in the past.
Not significantly different than what we've done in the past. And the merit will be awarded on the final teacher paycheck, which comes in August, before the new paychecks start in September.
Excellent.
Had a chance to look it over. I mean, I
Yep,
think
so
it's-
discussion item, it'll come back to the board on the 17th, and so if there are additional questions between now and then, certainly you could send them to me, and we would make sure that the whole board would receive an answer to those questions.
Mr. Miller.
If I may, I think last year we, as part of the merit, we paid some teachers retroactively for some of them for the national board certification
Yes, we
process.
did.
So we're caught up there
We're
now,
caught up.
right? So now it's really a good incentive for those that want to go that route. Do you know how many folks we have currently looking to work on that certification?
We know there are a handful of them. I don't know if we know the exact number, but we can ask the building level principals to see. It really is a elementary through high school opportunity, and so we'll try and identify how many perhaps are working towards their certification. We know there's a handful that are.
Is there a cost for them?
Yep, it costs them approximately $1,900
Okay.
along the way, and so this merit kind of returns that money to them plus an additional
Yeah,
$3,100.
excellent. Okay, I like that.
I just like that it's consistent with the goals and what we're,
Right.
what we're
Yeah,
trying to
it
accomplish.
really
overall.
does focus on improving instructional quality for the districts, which we think is a good thing.
Right, right. Very important. Yes, Mr. Cook?
I thought we had discussed it about adding in where it was prorated based off the time of service and throughout the year.
Okay.
So those that were only here part of the year would only receive part of it, those that are here full year would receive. the
Oh,
full
okay,
part.
okay.
Oh,
I can
I
look at
thought we had
that.
to discuss that during,
We had. So I will include something like that for number 17.
so that if a teacher comes to us and they're national board certified and they've only been here, is
No.
that kind of,
If a teacher starts in the middle of the year.
if the teacher starts in the middle of the year, we hire somebody in the middle of the year, they get the half of the year
Yeah.
with the bonus, not the full year's worth.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Not
they come-
necessarily just board certified.
So for the
Not
section.
For the second section, for the second section.
Correct.
Oh, okay,
Which
gotcha.
brings up a good question I think Mr. Cook was alluding to here. If we hire somebody who has national board certification, would they or would they not be eligible for that bonus?
I
For that
would,
merit pay?
yep, that's a good question, and I would take direction from the board on that. I think it potentially is a good incentive to attract a person to the district if they know coming in that they would be rewarded with a bonus for having national board certification. I don't know if Dr. Kinzer has any insight.
I guess I would say that without question, even if they had to be here for a year, they would very likely earn it in the second year. I mean, assuming we continue to recognize merit in the same way, then maybe so maybe we would, I don't know, I think that's a topic of discussion. Would we expect them to maybe have a year of service in the district prior to qualifying?
Does any other district offer money for them?
Not that I'm aware of.
Well, so maybe the thing is that if they come to the district and they're here for, maybe it's, how long does this certification last? Let's ask that.
I think it lasts, it used to last 10 years, but now I think it only lasts 5
I think
years.
it's 5.
So it's every 5 years that we'd have to do it. So maybe if somebody has done it within the last 3 years before coming to us, or, maybe there's some language like that we can say that they would be eligible. Or 5, I
Or
don't know.
perhaps we could also say they would be eligible if they have been here a year and would, I don't know, trying to.
I guess why would we make it any different than we did last year for the being
Yep.
retroactive?
That's true.
If they've earned it, they've earned it.
Okay, that's a good point.
That's a high recommendation, so if they come here with it, why wouldn't they get the bonus that we have? But,
Yeah.
we did take out the retroactive part of it, so, we're not rewarding for those that had it before that were district employees, so, anymore.
I would agree with Dr. Matthews' comment that it really is a nice incentive, and clearly we want the best, and if we can attract candidates of that caliber, I agree.
And when we publicize for openings, we could put in the job posting that if you're national board certified, you would earn a $5,000 bonus.
Yeah,
Yes, we
And
can do that.
I think that would attract a lot of national
I
board
like that
certified
idea.
teachers.
So do I.
All right,
Okay.
glad we solved that, so you'll work
Yep,
a
I'll
little
work on the
bit, a
prorated
couple little
part.
change,
Yep.
prorated part, and make those changes before it comes back to us. Fantastic. Next is our district goals, Dr. Matthews.
Thank you, Ms. Murphy. The Board of Education and the Superintendent have met several times and thoroughly discussed the district goals. Tonight, these agreed upon district goals for the 2019-20 school year come before the board. The goals outline the direction for the district for the remainder of the 2019-20 school year. These come to the board for information and discussion. And for some background, for those who might be interested, these goals really focus on the school or the district improvement plan. And so there are 3 district improvement plan goals, and these goals support achievement of those. And then there's 2 additional goals. So the first goal is really looking at providing an equity of opportunity for each student by honing curriculum, instruction, and assessment. Instructional quality and assessment practices will be improved for all students. And then we talked about focusing on student achievement and proficiency with our science curriculum and the outcomes that we would expect for students, both at the school level and at the student level. We also focused on improving writing instruction through writing pathways. And again, we focused on a school and a student goal. And then we focused on our SIOP training, which is training in how to meet the needs of English language learners, and focused on if those students participate in the English language learner program and are exited because they have made significant progress, that they would not re-enroll in that EL program. And then the new robotics curriculum over at sixth grade, to foster and inspire curiosity of learning. We said that 80% of those students would have the opportunity to complete 80% of the robotics modules. And then a district goal would be to implement Schoology's learning management system in grades 7 to 12, because it really, we think, will be a benefit to both students and parents. And then the second goal is we'll attend to the core components of a multi-tiered system of support to meet the learning needs of each student. And it focuses on providing high-quality Tier 1 instruction for all students, really focused on student learning objectives which teachers develop based on the students in their classroom. And then 80% of the students in Tier 2 math intervention would make accelerated growth. And on our math intervention, 80% of the students identified for Tier 3 math intervention would make accelerated growth. And then also in Tier 3, there is a goal on our literacy intervention as well. And then the third goal is to foster a district-wide culture of unity and well-being. We have a program to help our teachers learn about trauma-informed instructional practices. And then at the high school, implementing our restorative practice kind of program that our staff was trained in earlier this summer. And then increasing the number of breakfasts, because we believe breakfast is an important component of preparing students to learn each and every day. And then the fourth goal is in developing and implementing strategies to attract and retain high caliber, diverse, and culturally competent faculty and staff. So we're going to really look at our current hiring process. We're going to explore recruiting practices, and we're going to focus on staff retention by getting some feedback from staff who exit the district. And then the fifth goal is really focused on creating and implementing a communication plan that promotes the why Novi to all stakeholders. We would create a branding guide. We would implement a new website. We would build on the efforts last year to use our school newsletters with the SMORE kind of template that we now have. And then we would create a comprehensive communication plan to share the positive content of the Novi Community School District. So we've had 4 sessions with the board to discuss these goals, and I think we've honed them down to these specific goals. And these come tonight to the board for one last look before we bring them back on October 17th for final approval.
All right. Questions or comments? I know at the last meeting we made some adjustments based on some other things, and those have all been incorporated into this document.
And I would encourage the board to look at these to make sure we've incorporated them appropriately, and if we haven't, to share feedback with me, and we can make some changes before they come back to the board on the 17th.
Right. Is there any?
I was just noticing on the goal 3 with the restorative practices and the trauma-informed instruction. We briefly talked on how that would be demonstrated, or how that would be tracked. And
right.
I didn't see anything.
And we're having conversations with our building level administrators. We have an administrative meeting next week that we can talk with the administrative staff to really, this is a goal, and how are we going to track it appropriately so that we can give the board good feedback on whether or not we've achieved and use these tools in our classrooms and in our buildings effectively.
Okay, so we'll keep an eye out for that. Other comments or questions? I know we've gone over these quite a few times in our work sessions to try and come up with something that we thought would be consistent. I certainly like the idea of the district improvement plan being a part of that, because it's been something that we have to do every year, right, by law.
Yes, we do. Yep.
And yet sometimes
We're required to.
it is.
It seems like a separate piece often.
It does,
Yeah.
and it really shouldn't. It should
Right.
be.
So this is really focused, and we've already had opportunity to use these with our administrative staff to say this is we think the direction the board's going, so this is really important for us to focus on, and it just reinforces to our administrative staff especially that these are items that we need to focus on.
Okay. Okay, well, certainly if anybody sees anything in here that doesn't look like what we discussed, I didn't see anything when I looked it over, so I'm hoping that it's consistent with all the discussion that we had. Please reach out to Dr. Matthews. And then the only piece that we'd be missing maybe is what
Yeah.
you talked about with
Yep.
what you talked about the administrative staff and,
And we should be able to give some more feedback to the 17th.
okay. Anything else? No, fantastic. Well, great work by everybody. I know that there was a lot of discussion about that. I know that you worked real hard with the administrative staff and coming back to us, so it's always, sorry. Okay. Next is our winter tax levy.
The
Dr.
most
Matthews.
highly anticipated
Yes.
board item for the evening. I will let Ms. Minnick summarize with the provision that she does not have to read all of the millage rates.
Thank you. At the June 6th, 2019 regular board meeting, the Novi Board of Education formally certified the 1920 tax levies as listed in your board packets. And at the November 15th, 2018 board meeting, the Novi Board of Education resolved to levy 50% of the taxes in the summer and 50% of the taxes in the winter. Therefore, the 2019 winter tax levy is again as listed in your packet. This report comes before you this evening for information and discussion and will be recommended for approval at the October 17th board meeting.
All right. Is there a discussion on this particular item? This is something that comes to us every year. Mr. Cook.
You know, to lessen the burden on the taxpayers, splitting the tax rate between winter and summer is something that's very beneficial. I know a number of districts that don't. And that, when you get that one tax bill, it is painful.
Right.
So, you know, this is something the board has done for a number of years, and I'm glad to see we're continuing that practice.
I'm with you. It is it's nice to be able to do that. I know
It is.
some
I think it is
districts-
beneficial to the taxpayers for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Some districts just aren't in a position financially to be able to do it, which is unfortunate, but we are very blessed in that respect.
And it's helpful for, or it demonstrates that our, fund balance works to benefit the district, and so we don't have to collect all the taxes at once, to be able to manage our budget. And so it does speak to the strong financial position of the district.
Right. So this will come back to us for approval at the next meeting.
Yes.
And then next year, at the same time, we will see another one.
Right.
Okay, fantastic. Next is our next opportunity for comments from the audience. This is an opportunity to comment about anything within our jurisdiction. We would just ask that you fill out a green card, and it's already been done, I understand, and feel free to address the board. We do like it when you limit your comments to 5 minutes, but obviously there's so.
My name is Sharon Trumpy, and I am here to follow up on my comments at the Board of Education meeting on September 19th, 2019. At that time, I shared with you my concerns that my sixth grader science teacher has chosen to display a poster of President Trump in her science classroom. Following my comments, I was invited to meet with Dr. Kinzer and Dr. Matthews. I was informed that Dr. Kinzer had visited the classroom and that the science teacher has chosen to display this poster simply because Mr. Trump is the current president. Yesterday, 2 weeks after contacting her, I received an email from the teacher. It contained not a single mention of my son. Instead, she told me that she had not previously responded to my email because she believes I am intent on igniting controversy. She indicated that she is not planning to remove the poster of President Trump because he is the president and because the school district allows teachers to put up decorations, quote, of personal interest, unquote, in their classrooms. I have made every effort to express my concerns respectfully and appropriately. I first raised this concern to Mr. Bricky on September 4th, and I have tried my best to resolve this with the minimum of conflict for all involved, especially my child. I failed to see how bringing an unresolved concern to the Board of Education at a meeting attended by myself and one other member of the public is evidence that I am intent on igniting a controversy. This teacher's response to me yesterday shows an utter lack of concern for my son and a level of unprofessionalism that I find appalling. When I spoke to you on September 19th, I was quite clear that I did not know the teacher's intent. Her email to me yesterday makes her intent clear. In her own words, it is of personal interest to her. A teacher's primary responsibility is to the children in her class. When this teacher ignores a concern communicated to her by a parent and continues to display this poster, she is no longer choosing to do so simply because Mr. Trump is the president. She has many arenas in which she could explore this topic of personal interest. Inside the classroom, she has no right to share her political opinions. I contend that this teacher is doing exactly that when she ignores my concerns for my child in favor of displaying material of personal interest unrelated to the curriculum. This teacher and the district have expressed great concern about protecting a teacher's First Amendment rights. What I have not heard is a lot of concern for my child's right to an education. My child's job in the 6th grade science classroom is to learn science. His teacher's job is to teach science to all of her students. Dr. Matthews, in our meeting you told me that the district is walking a tightrope trying to protect the learning environment without infringing upon a teacher's freedom of speech. I want you to understand that I have been walking a tightrope for 12 years. When my son was in the 1st grade, he was in the car with his grandmother when she got pulled over. Mom, he told me, Grandma didn't even keep her hands where the police could see them. She didn't even tell the officer she was going to reach for her purse. I'm on a tightrope when I explain to him that old white ladies don't have to keep their hands visible, but little black boys do because Tamir Rice was 12 years old, the same age as my son when he was shot by police. When he was in 3rd grade, my son was punished at school for retaliating when another child on the bus mocked him and told him his skin looked like poop. I'm on a tightrope when I tell him that his skin is beautiful and he is beautiful, yet he will be punished disproportionately for that skin color, and that he is supposed to tolerate racism with a maturity beyond his years. I walk a tightrope every single day, trying to raise my son to be proud and confident in his black body, and to also be safe in a culture that will judge him for that black body. I cannot protect him from the world around him. I cannot protect him from racism. I should be able to protect him at school. I should be able to trust that a teacher in a school district will show greater concern for my son's dignity in the classroom than a teacher's stated desire to decorate according to her personal interests. Perhaps this teacher does not agree with President Trump that Congresswomen of color should go back to where they came from. Perhaps she does not agree with President Trump that there were very fine people on both sides at the white supremacist march in Charlottesville. But when she displays a poster of the president in her science classroom and refuses to respond appropriately to a parent's concerns, my child is left to guess at the meaning. And what he is guessing is that his teacher does not like him, does not care about him, and that is disruptive to his learning. Per the ACLU, what a teacher says or communicates inside the classroom, including choice of decorations, is considered speech on behalf of the school district, and is therefore not entitled to the same First Amendment protection she has outside the classroom. I implore the Board of Education and the Novi Community School District to consider the message that this teacher is sending on their behalf. I did not choose this battle. I am not intent on igniting controversy. This could have been resolved very simply. This teacher could have responded to me, I hear your concerns. I may not agree, but I care about your child. That did not happen. Ms. Murphy, you asked me during the break if I thought this would help, and I sure hope so. I would rather be almost anywhere than here tonight. I actually hate causing trouble. It is much easier to be agreeable. But I will not be agreeable to make things easier for you. I will not be nice at the expense of my child's dignity, and I am not the troublemaker here. This teacher chose to make trouble when she became aware of my concerns and prioritized her political expression over my child's right to feel safe and respected in his classroom. Now you have a choice to make. Thank you for your time.
Great. Our next item on our agenda is our superintendent's report. Dr. Matthews.
Thank you, Ms. Murphy. On November 5th, 2019, the Novi Community School District has two ballot proposals on the ballot. The first is for a $185 million bond that will reduce taxes from 7 mils to 6.75 mils. Reducing the tax is possible by extending the bond and increasing home prices in Novi. The bond will improve safety and security at each building by funneling every visitor into an office. It will also create a new Meadows campus, add a dedicated robotics space at the high school, and build an activity center on part of the practice field at the high school. It will also expand the choir, band, and orchestra rooms at the middle school, along with providing funds for infrastructure, technology, and other building improvements. The second proposal is a renewal of the sinking fund. The sinking fund, first approved in Novi in 2000, needs to be renewed every 10 years. It was renewed in 2010, and it is now time to renew it again. This provides relief for the general fund and allows us to have funds to repair needed infrastructure projects like sidewalks, parking lots, roofs, and so on. So I would encourage everyone to vote either in their absentee ballot or on November 5th. And more information is available on our district website. Our state school aid budget was finally approved on September 30th. We will receive $120 per student, or a 1.4% increase over last year. That amount is less than the rate of inflation, so our district is not even treading water at this point. In the 2010-2011 school year, Novi received $8,799 per student from the state of Michigan. In the 2018-19 school year, after several years of minimal increases, Novi received $8,719, or $80 less per pupil than we received 9 years earlier. Finally, in 2019-20, this school year, Novi will receive more money per pupil from the state than we received 9 years earlier. How much more? $40 per student, or less than 1/2 of 1% more than we received 9 years ago. The state of Michigan has not supported education, and yet in Novi we have continued to excel because of the hard work of our staff. And I am grateful for our staff and their commitment to our students, but I would also argue the state needs to do more in supporting schools in a meaningful way. And I would also like to say to Ms. Trumpy that we are working to address your problem. We are continuing to have conversations at the building level, and as noted by my email to you earlier today, we're continuing to have conversations with you as well. So I did not want you to leave here without knowing that we're still working on this to benefit your son and to address the concerns that you have. That's my report this evening.
All right. This is our administrative report.
Good evening.
Ms.
Thank
Bennett.
you. Dr. Matthews summed up the state aid budget very well. I echo the sentiments about just the rate of funding from the state. But I want to give thanks to Mike Dragu this evening, who came out promptly when the air handler was making some loud noise during the merit semifinalist presentation, and he quieted that machine so we could hear this evening.
I wondered what that was.
So I want to thank him for coming up here this evening, and he's going to investigate the problem tomorrow. So
Okay.
that's all I have. Thank you.
Can I ask a quick question?
Of course.
Count day Wednesday?
Yes.
Do we have,
We
That's
have some raw numbers. We don't have an FTE count at this point.
okay.
And so we believe that we'll be probably a little less than our projection, but
Okay.
still in positive territory.
Okay. Good to hear. Okay.
yes. Absent students have a number of days to return, and
And then
It's about a 30-day
they can still be
process.
counted. So
Yes.
when will we actually kind of have the final count?
I anticipate it would be submitted to the state right around the 1st of November,
Okay.
with it being certified mid-November.
Okay. Okay. So
So
like everything
we'll
else,
know more
slow
then.
process.
Slow process.
Okay. And Dr. Kinzer.
Thank you. I would just like to extend thanks to Julie Farkas, Director of the Novi Public Library. First, the great efforts she and her team put forward to make sure that all of our staff members have library cards. And then secondly, she is hosting our October 14th Mentee Monday at the Novi Public Library. So at the beginning of each session, she's going to provide a summary of all the benefits to our staff that are offered at the library, and then do a tour of the iCube. And then we'll be on with our mentoring business for the rest of each session. But we greatly appreciate her partnership.
Yeah. That's fantastic. They're gonna be awed by the things that they can do over there.
Plus, we'll get Starbucks coffee.
Is that what they're serving now? Oh, I did not know
It'll be
that.
part of your announcement today.
Okay.
Well, it's not
That's-
official. I mean,
that's-
the official announcement, the official grand opening is later in October.
Oh,
Okay, will we be invited to that?
Yes, you will.
Okay, that's fantastic. Yeah, great things. Love that partnership with the library. It's fantastic. All right, next is our board communications. This is opportunity for anybody who has board communication. Anything that's going on that anybody would like to comment on? Mr.
I'll
Mena?
start. So Novi Marching Band has their first competition in Lake Orion this weekend. So I'm probably making a trip up there to watch. October 12th, the band is also hosting the annual fanfare. I think this year we probably have about 16 schools that'll be here, so it'll be a big event. Always a fun event, and it's always a big fundraiser for the band. And the varsity football team is on the road this week. We had homecoming at the stadium this past week, and I got to tell you, well, they didn't do very well, the team, but we certainly had a lot of fun. The atmosphere was good. I know that Mr. Cook and I had an opportunity of working in the booth like we normally do.
In the dry.
Yeah, that is the reason we do this, but I will tell you, we're really having a lot of fun taking advantage of all of the functions that our nice video board has there. We were able to play information about the bond. We have live stats going up there. We had pictures of the homecoming court on display. So overall, it's a great event. We have, we mic the referees. So we do a lot of stuff in Novi that most other schools don't do around the state. So for that, I'm very proud. I'm very proud of how we run our events in this district. And that's all I have right now.
So we actually mic the refs?
We do. Yes.
Wow. Do they like that, or?
Yeah, it's very helpful, especially normally when suppose you have a clock operator who maybe forgets to stop the clock. If the referee needs to, in most places, the referee needs to reset it, he's got to go find a coach, talk up to somebody who's on the mic, and that person has to run to the controller and have them change it. So this way they can talk directly to us, and hopefully we don't have any open mic incidents. But
I was just gonna say, it's mic'd for you, but it's not mic'd for the public.
We had a little incident where somebody turned off the volume to his mic, but
I did, yeah.
but these things are carrying over to other sports and other things. Anytime somebody's in using that video board, there is opportunity. Like tonight with the JV football team, with the pictures of them up there, and even the Bobcats and
That's great.
other things. So that's something
Great,
that
well, we
the
can use our
community-
resources to really enhance the experience for the kids that we put in
Yeah.
there. That's fantastic. Great, and Dr. Ruskin?
There's a couple community events that are coming up. The first one is the screening of Intelligent Lives, which is a movie that starts with 3 pioneering young American adults with intellectual disabilities, and it follows them through their high school, college, and workforce career. It'll be showing at the middle school on October 11th. The agencies that are sponsoring that are the Novi Special Education Department, Living and Learning Agency, and the Novi Parent Special Education Advisory Committee. They'll all be there at 6 o'clock, and then the movie will be shown at 6:30. Secondly, I believe, and I don't have it in front of me, but this is just off the top of my head, this Monday is the mental health community group is putting on a screening, or actually they have a speaker who's speaking on anxiety, and that will be over at the middle school at 6:30 this upcoming Monday. So there's registration through Eventbrite, but you can go on the website, I'm sure, and register to attend that event. The last I heard, there was over maybe 120 people registered to attend, so.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's great.
And it's very busy at the high school. I was there about 15 minutes before I got here, and I could hardly get out of my parking spot, so.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Always something going on, which is a great thing. Other board members?
I just, I did a couple of meetings this week, but one of the things at the football, our girls soccer team got recognized again by the Senator
Rumsden?
Rumsden. Thank you. And I loved the pictures on Facebook because some of the girls had 2 rings. They had the 2 rings, you know, they were showing them off, so that was awesome. Such a great honor for our girls. The next thing is that I did do the Novi School Business Community Council meeting yesterday morning. My mornings have just run together. And our adult ed report card, we were second place in our, I think it's our region. And so that was a wonderful honor, and they're looking at different ways of, you know, helping out with English language and, you know, some new classes that people can attend, and it's tuition based. So, but also, of course, there's, you know, always tuition help. And then they're doing this new thing with our career prep. It's peer-to-peer. So they're having like little groups that they're being able to talk amongst themselves. And I believe there's a social worker that are certified clinical trauma professionals. So that's another step in the right direction. And then I attended an Orchard Hills, which we thought was a meet and greet for the PTO, and it was an actual meeting.
It was focused on the meat and not the
Yeah,
greet.
yeah, they did. Well, and I was greeted. But it was interesting going through, you know, their different thing. And of course, as every school is, they're having problems getting volunteers. You know, so that's the thing. But they do have a pumpkin fest. You know, I don't know if any of the board members would like to join. October 25th, 6 to 8. And I guess it's like their little trick or treat through the school.
Oh,
So it sounds like fun.
I think Deerfield's doing trick or trunk.
Yeah.
So people open their trunks and they look.
Yeah, this is indoors, so, you know.
Yeah, sounds like.
Not weather dependent.
Right. And you get a cider and donut, so.
Right. Mr. Cook.
Just to all the middle school parents out there, Mr. Baker is having a tea with the principal next Wednesday.
Tea.
Yes. Tea or coffee. I'm sure.
Tea.
Coffee, he said. But the other thing is, this month is National Down Syndrome Awareness Month. And give your favorite child with Down syndrome a hug. Mine is John over at Parkview. I get to play soccer with him all the time. So John's just a great guy. He's got a smile on every day. So just go out and give him a hug.
I did go to the Rotary's Mental Health and Wellness Symposium, which was on last Saturday for a bit. I think some of the other board members may have been there in the morning. I just missed you. I came a little bit later, but it was really kind of a step in the right direction. A lot of different community groups kind of coming together to just talk about it, and some people that shared some pretty powerful stories just about their walk through both the system and having family members. So it was, I think, my guess is it's something that that the Rotary is going to continue to be really heavily involved in, because there were a lot of Rotarians there from different, like Canada and Lansing, and it was mostly Rotarians actually, but there were a few community members, and it really, you know, it's almost too bad that there weren't more people there, I guess, because it really was a heartfelt look and an opportunity. Because there weren't that many people there, it got very intimate in terms of talking about some of the challenges, and I think that was really helpful. So, you know, hopefully it's something that they'll decide to put on again, and you know, I'm hoping. And then Deerfield is also doing if anybody's a runner, they're doing a color run in, I believe it's October 18th. But I will be there. I will.
You got your running shoes?
I got new running shoes, so I will be there, and I will do my best to represent the board without falling down. That will be my goal. Anyways, yeah, thanks for sharing, and without any further ado, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Oh, one more thing. Sorry.
Just for us to keep Mr. Smith and his family in our
Yes.
prayers, since his mom passed, and
Yes.
it's something that he's dealing with, so we're just keeping our hearts and minds open for him.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. So yes, our fellow board member, lots of loss this year. It happens when people get on this board. I'm not sure what that's all about, but anyways, I know that some of us were out at the service today, and certainly his family and his children you know, with the loss that they've experienced this year. Just thoughts and positive prayers for them. All right, I would entertain a motion at this point to adjourn unless there's anything else.
So moved.
Support.
It's been moved by Mr. Menon, supported by Mr. Cook. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries 5-0. We are adjourned for the evening. Thank you for being here.